Chaldiran did not begin on the battlefield. Long before swords were drawn, it began with letters. At the dawn of the 16th century, two rising powers of the Islamic world stood on a collision course. To the east stood the Safavid Empire, led by Shah Ismail I. To the west stood the Ottoman Empire, ruled by Sultan Selim I. Shah Ismail was young, charismatic, and deeply religious. In only a few years, he had unified Iran and declared Shia the official state religion. This was not merely a spiritual decision, it was a political statement that directly challenged Ottoman authority. For Sultan Selim, Shah Ismail was not just a rival king. He was a religious threat, capable of inspiring unrest among the Shia populations inside Ottoman lands. Letters were exchanged between the two rulers. They were not diplomatic letters seeking compromise. They were filled with insults, accusations, and religious condemnation. In his letters, Sultan Selim accused Shah Ismail of heresy and corruption of Islam, demanding that he abandon his beliefs. Shah Ismail replied defiantly, questioning Selim's legitimacy and presenting himself as the true defender of the faith. These letters closed the door to peace. War became inevitable. In 1514, Sultan Selim marched eastward with a massive army. His forces were disciplined, experienced, and equipped with artillery, cannons, and Janissary musketeers, the most advanced military technology of the time.
Has Achilles. Safavids had the desert fox.
Shah Ismail relied on the Qizilbash, fierce tribal warriors whose loyalty was absolute. They were masters of cavalry warfare and close combat, but they rejected firearms, believing that faith and courage would overcome any weapon. As the Ottomans advanced, the Safavids employed a scorched earth strategy. Villages were evacuated, supplies destroyed, and land left barren to slow the enemy's progress. Yet, despite these efforts, the Ottoman army continued forward. The two armies finally met on the plains of Chaldiran in northwestern Iran. On the morning of the battle, a thin mist covered the field. On one side stood the Ottoman army, cannons positioned and infantry arranged in defensive lines. On the other side stood the Safavid forces, confident in their cavalry and their belief in divine protection. Shah Ismail himself was present on the battlefield. He believed that destiny favored him and that no army could defeat the cause he represented. The battle began. With the first Ottoman cannon fire, the ground of Chaldiran shook. This was something the Qizilbash had never faced before. Death delivered from a distance. Safavid cavalry charged with extraordinary bravery, but each advance was shattered by cannon blasts and musket fire. The traditional tactics of close combat proved ineffective against modern warfare. The right flank of the Safavid army collapsed. One formation after another was broken under relentless fire. Shah Ismail was wounded. His horse was killed beneath him. For the first time in his life, he was forced to withdraw from the battlefield. By sunset, the outcome was clear. The Safavid army was defeated. The Ottomans had won. Sultan Selim entered Tabriz, the Safavid capital. Yet he did not remain long. Supply problems, unrest among his troops, and fear of rebellion in Anatolia forced him to retreat. Militarily, the battle had ended. Psychologically, its consequences were devastating. Shah Ismail had believed himself invincible. After Chaldiran, that belief was shattered. He withdrew from public life. He took little part in governing. Real power gradually passed to his commanders and officials. The warrior king who once led from the front now lived in isolation and silence. The defeat at Chaldiran broke not only his army, but his spirit. Yet history did not end there. Chaldiran revealed a harsh truth. The age of traditional warfare was over. Decades later, Shah Abbas the Great would reform the Safavid army, introduce artillery, weaken the Qizilbash, and reclaim lost territories from the Ottomans. And later still, Nader Shah would carry that revenge even further, turning the memory of Chaldiran into a nightmare for the Ottoman Empire.